good YouTube? It's your boy Tony D. Too Wild checking in once again. Tony Digital bringing back another 4K visual, back with another banger today, guys, on a very special vid. We did a full-on 1 hour and 30-minute podcast on this topic on the Too Wild for TV show, going even further in depth on what is going on between Vanessa Bryant and Kobe Bryant's estate and Nike. I've talked about this before in the past on this channel as well, about how the Nike contract with Kobe Bryant was ended after 18 years. There was some things that was not able to be negotiated and agreed upon between Vanessa Bryant, who is now running the Kobe Bryant estate, Kobe's wife, and Nike. And as we may or may not know, some of you guys may or may not know at least, that Kobe was already planning to leave Nike to create his own shoe, and then unfortunately had passed away, and then that never came into fruition. And then in April, the contract actually expired, and there was no negotiation of an extension or renegotiation of a deal. One of the reasons that we were hearing, or some of the reasons that we were hearing, was the availability of the shoe. For one, the Kobe Grinch releasing in December of last year and not being available at all, being sold out. This is pretty much what we deal with on a daily, being a sneakerhead. The instant botting, reselling, backdooring of pairs. Vanessa saw that going on with her husband's shoe. And also the fact that kids and women were unable to get those shoes as well. Because mainly when you look at it, the size 4Ys, 5s, 3s, and all that, the youth sizes, are instant sellouts as well that go for even more than what is going for a size 8.5, a 9, 10. Like for instance, Kobe Grinch I think was going for 400 in a size 8.5. Whereas on a size 4, it's probably going for like 6, 7. It's just how it goes. It always goes up even more. And the difference is, at the end of the day, I hate paying resale. I hate the whole thing. I don't hate people that make money. You know what I'm saying? It's become a part of this sneaker culture. Don't get me wrong. But at a size 8.5, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, you can make jokes at me being 8.5, 9, and call it whatever you want. But I'm a man spending $400 on a pair of shoes. A size 4Y is more than likely a kid, and a kid is not going to have $700 to pay for a pair of sneakers. Now, the mother can go get the shoe for the kid, but the thing is that Kobe's estate, Vanessa, and Kobe himself wanted kids, the youth, the future, to be able to rock his sneakers without any sort of problem. And that has become now a problem. Kids just can't go and get Kobe's like they once could. So some of that, maybe some things that we do not know behind the scenes that happened that was unable to get negotiated, led to the standstill for the Kobe Bryant estate and Nike. However, there was, I believe, 2 shoes left, at least 2 that was under that contract. And some are saying it was the De La Soul, the Pops. Some have said the Hall of Fame. There's so many different ones going in here that I really don't know. But the one that we're talking about today was not, and that is the Mamba Forever. We saw Vanessa and Natalia and all of them doing a shoot and selling of the Mamacita brand, which the proceeds went to the Mamacita Academy, I believe, or the organization that was started. And we saw them wearing Kobe's there. And then since then, we really haven't seen much. The negotiation has been at a standstill. So I don't think it's been denied so much, but more so just that we haven't found anything out. Nothing has been re-signed. Now we have here, as you can see, an image of the Kobe 6 Protro Mamba Forever, I believe is the name of it, Mamba Forever. Vanessa Bryant posted a IG picture, which I'm going to post up and I'm going to read it off to you guys. This is a shoe I worked on in honor of my daughter, Gianna. It was going to be called the Mambacita shoe, as an exclusive black and white colorway of her daddy's shoes. I picked the colors in honor of her uniform, the number 2 she wore just like her uniform, the inside pattern, Kobe and Gigi on the back in gold instead of Kobe's signature. The inside shoe details butterfly wings, halo, etc. The Mamacita shoes are not approved for sale. I wanted it to be sold in honor of my daughter, with all the proceeds benefiting the Mamacita Sports Foundation, but I did not re-sign the Nike contract and decided to not sell the shoes. The Mamacita shoes were not approved to be made in the first place. That's where it's kind of weird right now. Nike has not sent any of these pairs to me and my girls. I do not know how someone else has their hands on shoes I designed in honor of my daughter, Gigi, and we don't. I hope these shoes did not get sold. Hashtag at Nike, and then they show a picture. Now, what is going on with the news is behind this is supposedly Foot Patrol received these shoes, and one of the shoes got passed along to their photographer, who takes pictures of the shoes, and official images for the shoe was was made. We'll be posting some pictures of those shoes. I can show you. You get some images of the shoes and how you can tell it was shot with some professional. Well, honestly, they don't look that good as far as a professional photo shoot. I think that, you know, when I look at professional, I look at Nike, but Foot Patrol did some photos for their website or their marketing or whatever, product pages, whatever you want to call it. Now, that's one thing. The next thing is that, yes, consumers actually got their hands on this shoe. People were saying, I believe under this actual post from Vanessa Bryant, I seen even Kais underneath there saying something around the lines that Foot Patrol sent out these because of a release. So basically what I'm hearing is Hall of Fame, and I've also heard De La Soul, that when those released on Foot Patrol, that some customers were getting those shoes sent to them instead of the actual De La Soul or the Hall of Fame. I don't know what direct shoe it was. And I kind of was very angry about it because I was like, how can you mess something up? Well, when you actually see the box of this shoe, which we could show a picture of, it says Kobe 6 Protro and it just says white/black. There's no special anything about it. You know, it's a very basic box label that you could pretty much just pass right over. It doesn't say like special edition or Mama Seats or none of that. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, I somewhat don't believe that. We deal in a world with backdooring so much more and more. The highest bidder wins it all. So is this a backdoor situation or an honest mistake on Foot Patrol's behalf? I would lean some more, if I had to make it, I would say 60-40 backdoor, for the fact that, look, bro, when I see Soul Play doing this, I see Soul Play, you know, getting stuff in all the time. When I say doing this, I don't mean backdooring. I'm saying doing this as in receiving product, getting products sent to take photos, getting product pictures out, getting product out to, you know, to the front of the store. And to make this honest mistake of someone buying something online and shipping something totally different, that's a mistake I just don't see being made. I see them checking shoes when they first come in from FedEx, making sure they got everything in, making sure they ain't got any destroy pairs, making sure everything is looking good. And when a shoe, say for instance, you get one Jordan 1 here and another Jordan 1 here, they keep those things separate. So that's just me basing upon one store. Another store, I don't know. Foot Patrol probably could have a huge warehouse and have that type of effect. I don't honestly know. But to each his own. I feel like there might be some finessing going on. But the one thing I want to talk about, a couple things I want to talk about, but the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that the shoes were made. I would love to know what the production dates inside that shoe says. As all you guys, or some of you guys may not know, once again, production dates for a sneaker versus the release date is usually 3 to 6 months from when it was released. All right, guys, so I got right here a pair of Jordan 6 Carmines that released this year, correct? So as you can see on the inside here, on the production date, it says June 16th, 2020 to August 14th, 2020. These released in February. So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months. So these were finished 6 months and then released. These were finished in August and released 6 months later in, you know, into to February. So for these to be out right now in May, that means that these shoes had to have been made possibly around December to January. That's what I would at least think. I've seen production dates as close as 3 months though too. So January, February, that would be like March. She is saying though that these were never approved to be made. So being made is one thing, being sold is another. If I know that the contract ended in April, so if Vanessa was making this shoe in December or January, I could see where Nike would go ahead and get this thing in production because the contract with them was still in effect. And I don't see her saying, hey, don't make this shoe yet because I don't know if I want to sign with you guys in April. I just don't see that. I don't know. It just sounds weird. Now, to then take an idea, though, that she made and then still sell it after the negotiation of the contract was no longer in effect, that's where it's becoming immorally wrong here. You know what I'm saying? There is some legalities that we're going to speak on as well. But morally right now, in my opinion, selling a shoe that, you know, you're no longer with the Kobe brand, Nike, the contract's not there. She made this in remember, you know, as a memorial for her daughter and her husband, right? We know the shoe's gonna get backdoored and more than likely resold, and nobody that actually is gonna care for it is actually gonna get it more than likely firsthand. I can see this definitely as a problem, and the fact that more than likely if Foot Patrol has the shoe in their possession, they're going to be getting it soon, and they're going to be selling it soon. There's no reason for them to get it and it just sit there. Usually at the earliest, sometimes people get these shoes a month, maybe a month and a half before the release date. I've seen shoes come in a month before they release, or even a month and a half plus, you feel me? So Nike is more likely going to sell it. Now on the podcast I talked about, which was also a very similar situation, unfortunately it was not someone that passed away, it was someone that was alive. But Kanye, the Red October, Yeezy 2 Red October released after Kanye had already left Nike and was with Adidas. I think he left Nike in 2013, and the Red October released in 2014. I think he was already with Adidas at the time. So this is not an unfamiliar type of territory we're in. The only difference here is that they're selling this shoe and doing this thing with someone who is no longer with us and passed away, and it being Kobe Bryant on top of that. And then she says, that I hope these shoes do not get sold. So I am so appreciative of what Vanessa Bryant is doing, because she's actually, maybe she's not doing it purposely, but she's definitely exposing the problems that Nike has with their company. And that is the backdooring of pairs, the reselling of pairs, the greed, and the lack of just caring. At the end of the day, it is business. Business should never be personal. I understand that. But we can still have feelings about things that we think are morally wrong. I feel like morals is still one thing. Ethics is still one thing. We dealt with the Ann Herbert situation, the VP whose son was a reseller. We dealt with the backdooring of the Trophy Room ones, you know what I'm saying? And the whole debacle and this disaster of that release, and the type of weird shit that was going on with that. Now we got the first thing that happened early with the Kobe 6 Grinches that Vanessa was talking about. And then the fact that the contract didn't get signed for certain reasonings, because more than likely because of what Nike was doing. And now we even have it here where Nike don't give a damn what you're doing. They still are about to try to sell this shoe and make that money. They made the shoes already. They did what they had to do. And now we lead to the legalities here. Do I think that Nike has the legal right to sell the shoe? That's the part that I really would like to know. And that's the part that's been bugging me the most. The reason why this is a problem right now is not because of the shoe itself. Me personally, I feel like they can release, if she made a shoe when the contract was good, more than likely she's under that contract. And when you do these type of contracts, usually what happens when you make when you sign a contract with a shoe company, whatever you make, whatever ideas you give, you're pretty much giving those away in that contract. When I made my Saucony shoe, I gave the rights away to that art, to have Saucony have full on just, they can do whatever they want. They want to re-release it, they can. They ain't got to pay me a dime or dollar, you feel me? I don't even think I got royalties when it comes to that shoe, but they're not going to re-release that shoe, so I'm not really worried about that. But I'm pretty sure that is very similar to what is going on, probably to some extent with them. You make something and it's theirs to resell for later on. However, there is one big key part that plays here that makes me wonder about the legalities, and that is the back of the shoe, the Mamba seats, the Mamba Sports Academy, the Mamba emblem on the back. When that shoe was made, that was put on there, right? Well, since then, till recently, I want to say until April or maybe even May, Vanessa Bryant has filed trademarks for those logos. Those logos are now trademarked that they own. So I'm curious to know if those trademarks, now that being owned by Vanessa, would give her the right to either one, sue Nike entirely, sue them partially, do something, stop them from selling them, copyright infringement, something. I'm curious to know where that plays. Because the one fact is that trademark is there. But the second thing that is also in my brain is how it works legally with that. If I give someone something to make and then I go and run and get it trademarked, if the thing was already made to be sold, does it matter that my trademark was after, or would I have to put that trademark in effect before and then make that thing to be safe? If she would have made the Mamba branding trademarked, then made the design of the shoe, would the trademark being first matter? Does the trademark need to be first before the design, or it could be after? Does it matter? That's what I'm curious to know. Does that matter? This is the trademark, this is the shoe. Does it have to be first to do that, or could it be after, or does it not matter? One thing I think is that it doesn't matter is because it's when it's sold rather than when it's made. Because I can make I can go make myself a Nike Air Force One overseas, right, and have it just come straight to me, and I have it from some sort of factory, and if I rock it, that's cool. But the moment I sell it, that's where copyright infringement comes into full effect. When you sell it, you can make anything, you can copy I can go make a basketball jersey with Lakers on it and it have everything and it be a replica, a fake, right? That's not the problem. I can rock that. I think you can even give stuff like that away for free. But it's once you sell it to make money is where the problem is. So if I wanted to do a sample Dragon Ball Z collab, but not have the authority of Dragon Ball Z, right? And I throw sample and Dragon Ball Z together, and I'm wearing that t-shirt in front of y'all, and you're like, yo, Tony, I want that tee. And I'm like, nah, you can't have it. It's not for sale. I'm not breaking any laws. But the moment I say here, you know, $40, $50, that's where, you know, it's Funimation, whenever, you know, Dragon Ball Z, the people that run it, they can come and say, hey, we need that bread. You feel me? So yeah, you know, I'm curious to know where this goes. I talked about this also, and I would love to hear you guys' comments and, you know, comments down below. Please go check out the 4 on Live. I'll leave a link down below as well. But to preserve Kobe's legacy, not even his legacy, because his legacy is in the game of basketball himself, but to preserve it into a way for us to purchase it as fans, do you feel like Nike is the route to go? I appreciate and I fully support whatever decision Vanessa makes at the end of the day, because she knows Kobe, she knows what Kobe wanted. But if she goes the route of making her own shoe or doing something, you know, of their own, and then going further, you know, going forth with that, I was talking to people about that, and I was like, you know, to have those memories, to share those memories of certain shoes and certain times, those shoes are all represented through the Nike Kobe's that were released, the Kobe Pro Tros that we see now. When you make that new brand that Kobe can no longer even rock or play basketball in to represent, it kind of makes it hard for us to feel attached to that product when he was not in that product. There's so much more with the films, with the sports industry that Kobe has had his hands in that's going to continue to blossom. You know, the Kobe branding itself is going to forever go. But I feel like when it comes to the sport of basketball, we're going to want those Kobe shoes. Those 81-point game shoes are retro. The Hall of Fame that we've seen recently, the Grinches, the Cheetahs, the Kobe 8 Christmases. You know what I'm saying? The Poison Frog. Forgive me for the stuttering, but that's just, you know, I'm talking. I'm letting it flow. But we live in those memories. So to stop that and then make a new thing, it's going to almost resemble a lot. It's like we spoke on yesterday, how we don't have that much of a connection with anything after Jordan 14 going up, because Jordan never played in it. You know what I'm saying? We buy the Jordan 1 through 14 because that's the shoes. The ones after that, people buy them, don't get me wrong, but they buy them just to merely play basketball, and they don't buy them standing in line each and every week to cop them. And what Jordan Brand is doing now is smart, is they're replacing the imaging of Jordan on these new shoes and giving it to people like Zion and Westbrook and letting them have their own models and doing stuff like that. I think that's very smart of them. But for Kobe's legacy to move forward and create his own shoe, what do you use to support that shoe? You know what I'm saying? You have to have an athlete or someone behind it, because Kobe can't be that athlete for that, because Kobe is not here to represent that. So it's a tough thing that they have to figure out to get right. I hope they do. Nike, you know, once again doing fuck shit that they've been doing for years. What do I think we should do? You know, people said boycotting, but nobody's gonna do that. But what I do think is gonna actually happen is the more and more this stuff gets exposed, it's going to start rubbing off. It's going to start getting exposed more and more, and it's going to play a part in something. I don't know yet, but I think that more and more people speaking out like this definitely will help. Best believe, you know, I mean, LeBron got that $1 billion contract. Best believe over time something might come out. Who knows, man? I don't know. I just feel like it's better to say something than nothing at all, even if that something doesn't make move a step forward or anything. I feel like at the end of the day, it might spark the mind of the next person that will make that step moving forward. You know what I'm saying? That's salutes to Tupac. He said, you know, I don't think I'm gonna, you know, I might not change the world, but I might spark the mind that will. You feel me? So I love it that she's speaking out about it. I'm loving that she's being open about it, because usually people be quiet about this, and I like to hear this. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below. We have a lot of stuff we talked about in this video. Let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions. What direction you think she should go? What you feel about this? Do you think Kobe's shoe legacy, or, you know, do you think that's the right move? At the end of the day, I think the right move is whatever Vanessa decides to do. You know, so supports her, supports that family. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. And I appreciate you guys for today's video, man. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video, man. It's your boy, Tony D. Too Wild. I'm checking in, checking out. Peace.